YouTube. So how is everybody today? As you come in, be sure and let me know that you're there, and let me know how your weekend's gone. And we actually had a long weekend this week, which was great. I know my husband really needed it. All right, let me see if I can pull this up here. So, hey Valerie, hey Phyllis, Susie from Denmark, wow. Welcome, thank you for being here. Hey Vince. How is everybody today? I hope you had a good weekend. All right, it looks like we have TikTok up and going, and I apologize, but I cannot see with having the correct view for you guys. I haven't figured out how I can watch the comments at the same time that I'm letting you watch what I'm doing. So I'm going to work on that, and I think the only solution would be get another account, maybe. I don't know. If anybody has any solutions, let me know. But I will periodically look up on my phone right here and let me know, you know, if you guys have any secrets. But who all is over on YouTube? Let me know. And I'll be kind of toggling back and forth, you guys, okay? Hey, Berlene. Hey, Sue. Hey, Jamie. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. So, like I said, I know that we did the Easy Bow last week, but I had a viewer that had a question that I'm going to try and help her out with this. And I'm going to be making a bee bow. And here are the ribbons we're going to be working with. Let me get some in the room here. Here are the ribbons that I'm going to be working with, and my plan is I'm going to make this bow, and I'm going to make a bee wreath with this little guy right here. Let me see if I can get him into the camera view. I know he's upside down for you TikTok. I'll show you here in a minute, but he's kind of rustic looking, if you can see his sign, and he has this burlap like material for his wings, and he has a happy little welcome sign. Now, that being said, I might come in here. I've used this bumblebee once before, and to be honest, this welcome is a little bit hard to see. So I'm thinking I might outline it with some white that'll help maybe that image pop a little better. I like that it's black. I don't know that I needed to paint the whole thing white, but anyway, I'll be making an adjustment there. But I just thought he looked perfect to go with this ribbon. The ribbon has these, of course, the bumblebees, but then it also has the beige backing that looks like the burlap in his wings, and then his little socks down here. So, and I'm believe it or not, I've been on a floral kick here for a while. I'm going to make a deco mesh wreath with him. That's my I've got that in my mind. In fact, somebody asked me about that the other day. Do you not make deco mesh wreaths anymore? Hey Pam, thank you for being here. Hey Julie. And there's Barbara. Good deal. In Augusta, Georgia. That's beautiful down there. Hey Marquita, how are you? Thank you for being here. Oh, you're having a honeybee festival this weekend? That's cool. Computer and phone tablet. Well, right now I've got a computer, I've got a iPad, and I've got 2 phones, and they're all filming. So, well, I shouldn't say that. They're not all filming, but that's what I'm using to see comments and that kind of thing. I need one more thing, and then I can see the TikTok comments. Unless I can, I don't think I can do it on my laptop though. Let me see. Maybe I can. Hang on. Let me try that real quick. I know I can pull up my account there, but I never even thought about. Now wait a minute. Maybe I can. If I can get out of this screen. I'm sorry guys, I'm trying to get this going here. Oh no, not that. I don't want that. Well, I'm going to have to work on that, but I might be able to do it on my laptop for next time. Okay, now this is the Easy Bow Maker. This is the bow making tool that the question was about. And her comment was that, and it's one I think I voiced to you guys quite often, is that I know for myself, I mean, between the two bow makers, the Pro Bow and the Easy Bow Maker, I probably, well, they both have pros and cons. I think the Easy Bow Maker, anybody can learn it, and there's less of a learning curve. Pro Bow, to me, makes a little bit more of an exact bow. There's a lot of play, and we'll talk about that here in a second as I'm going through making the bow. But I have the same problem that you did, viewer. I don't want to call you out, but you know, as far as there's a lot of play sometimes, and sometimes it's hard to get your bow loops exactly even. And then two, you can get your ribbon twisted where then it's not going to lay right in loops. But that can happen with anything, whether you're hand making your bow or using the Pro Bow or Easy Bow. But I'm going to talk through all of those. But if you're not familiar, the Easy Bow Maker, we're going to be making our bow right here. That's going to be the center of the bow. And then there's inches here marked where that goes out from either side. And that is a helpful guide. Again, it's not an exact science, but it's a helpful guide to show you how large your bow loops are going to be. Our ribbon's going to sit over here, and now with the Easy Bow Maker, our bow is going to be made with the bottom ribbon upward, okay? Where that's opposite from the Pro Bow, you work from the top bow or top ribbon downward. So there is that difference, but I mean, they all have their pros and cons. But if you have a problem like you know, the arthritic hands, or having a lot of trouble, like myself, I've got some contractures in my hands. Sometimes you gotta have a lot of pain, especially if you're making a lot of bows. These tools will help ease that, and I swear anybody can make a bow. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I've got, like I said, I've got all these ribbons picked out to match my little rustic bee. And we're going to start with this polka dot. It's a 2.5 inch. Another thing too, if you're brand new to bow making, don't even try to make a bow if you don't have wired ribbon. And it needs to be a decent quality. As you get a little bit more comfortable making bows, you can work with the less quality ribbon, and there's ways you can work with it, but you're just going to be frustrated if you don't have nice quality ribbon. The way you look at that is, you know, I always take it, I make a loop like this, and you can see that bow loop is going to pretty much stay where I put it, no matter where I shape it. And you know, you want to look and make sure that your material is nice, of a good quality, a good body. And then also you want to make sure the wire on either side is good and substantial. Now, that being said, you don't want to start out using a real stiff bow or ribbon either. For example, some of the designer ribbons are really stiff, or something that's really heavily glittered is going to be really stiff. It's going to also be difficult to work with. But something like this, that's a nice, decent quality ribbon that won't let you down. So we're going to put our ribbon on. I always like to start out with a 2.5 inch on the bottom if I'm using two sizes. I use the larger ribbon on the bottom, and we're going to put it on this holder with the ribbon coming off and away from me. Now, one thing I forgot to say too, if you guys are having questions, go ahead and put them in the comments. I'm going to come back and look at the comments for questions after I get done making the bow. But if you know me very well, you know I get distracted real easily and lose my train of thought, so it's just going to be easier on both of us if I wait until the end. Okay. Now I'm going to lay down this ribbon, and I'm thinking I want probably about a 16-inch tail, and this is marked at 8 inches over here and 8 inches over here, so we got our 16 inches. I'm going to take my ribbon and lay it down. I'm going to pinch it right here where I've got my 16 inches. Okay. Well, you know what? I don't have to pinch it. I'm thinking Pro Bow. Sorry. But anyway, I've got that marked. I'm going to hold my thumb there, and I'm going to mark that for my tail. I'm going to put this down vertically through these pegs here with the good side or the pattern side facing away from me. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to twist it. Now here is a place where you can help make sure that your bow or your ribbon is laying correctly whenever you are trying to shape your ribbon. You want to make sure that you've got a 180 turn, and I check that again later on after we get the bow made, but it's easiest if you can go ahead and get that done now. Now what what I'm talking about is when you're doing the twist, make sure you do a 180 turn and make sure that your ribbon is laying in the right direction. You want both of the edges to kind of go downward, and that's going to help the bow tail or the bow loop lay correctly. What you don't want is, say I've got something like this, which will happen sometimes, and you'll see the wrong side of the ribbon up here, or the how do I want to say that? It's turned more convex than concave. No, I'm saying that wrong. This is concave, this is convex, I think. But anyway, you don't want the wires to be pointing upward. You want them to tuck underneath. And I'll show you again what I'm talking about if that's clear as mud. Okay, so we're going to push that all the way down. And again, I want tails coming down from my bow, so I'm just going to let those drop over the edge. Now, since I'm putting this in a wreath, I am not going to go ahead and trim these. I usually go ahead and dovetail the ends. If I'm putting it in a wreath, I want to wait until I see more what the wreath looks like before I dovetail it. So I'm not going to do that this time. But if I was just making this bow to sell, then of course I would want to finish it with a dovetail or cut it at an angle. All right, now I'm going to make about, let's make about a 5.5 inch, no, let's make a 6-inch bow loop. And I'm going to come over here. I'm going to have my thumb kind of holding that 6 inches. I'm going to take this ribbon down vertically again, good sides facing away from me. I'm going to twist it. I'm going to make sure that I turn it completely. And see how that's tucked down? I don't know if you can see that or not. See how it's tucked down? I'll show it to TikTok and then I'll show it to you guys. See how, like right here is where I'm talking about. It's tucked downward. That's what's going to help you have the nice shaped bow loop. Now for this particular bow, I'm going to have one of these loops, and then I'm going to have two of the next ribbon. So let's go ahead and put it over here. We're going to come over to here at about 6 inches. Now we do not need to twist it this time because the good side of the ribbon's already facing me, and this is the only loops I'm going to put in this ribbon. So I'm going to pinch it, and again I'm going to make sure that those edges are tucked under. I'm going to set that down in there. Make sure I've got about 6 inches here. I'm going to push it down. Now I'm going to come back here and I'm going to measure off my tails. Try to get them about even. They don't have to be perfect. Trim that off. And again, I'll wait to finish the ends of the tails once I get that on the wreath. All right, now the next ribbon I want to use is this Bumblebee. And again, we're going to put this on the holder with the ribbon coming off and away. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to compare it to my other tail. Make it about the same length, maybe a little bit shorter. And again, I've got my hand right there where I'm marked where I want the ribbon to go in so that I have the right length of my tail. I'm going to put it down again, good sides facing away. I'm going to twist it 180 degrees, push it down. Now this ribbon, I'm going to do 2 loops on either side. And I'm going to have them about the same length as the one before. So I don't have to look down here on the board. I can just compare to my loops I already have. So we're going to bring this over here. Again, I'm comparing it with my previous bow loop. I'm going to put this down good size facing away. Twist it. And there I almost didn't get it all, so I need to regroup. Push it down. Make sure everything's twisted the right direction. Come over here. I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to repeat this. Good sides facing away. Twist it all the way. Push it down. Now I need 2 more loops. Again, I'm going to compare it. Good sides facing away. Twist it. Push it down. Now this is the last bow loop, so again I don't have to twist it because the good side is already facing where I want it. I'm going to lay that down there like that. Now the argument could be made, do I want it, you know, how, this is what we call one directional ribbon. But you know, bumblebees, they fly all directions, so I'm not worried that some of these are facing one way, some are facing another. That's just the way bumblebees fly, so I'm not worried about that. And we'll have a whole other videos with one directional ribbon. All right, I've pushed that down. I'm happy with the way it looks. I'm going to come down here and compare to my other tail, and I'm going to trim this off. I think this is going to look perfect on that bumblebee wreath I'm making. Okay, now I could very well go ahead and put this kind of a rustic looking bee ribbon right on top of this, but I like to separate it with a little bit of color just so it kind of highlights it. The same reason I like to highlight with the polka dot ribbon. That kind of gives it a break, and people will better appreciate the pattern that's in it, actually in both ribbons. So I'm going to bring this Swiss dot ribbon in here. I could have just used a solid ribbon also if I wanted to, but I really like the Swiss dot, and it really kind of reads as a solid. So I'm going to put that on the peg again. Ribbon's coming off away from me. Now this one, we're going to do 1 loop. We're going to repeat the same pattern I've already done. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to measure against my tail here. Get plenty of ribbon off. I'm going to take it down, good sides facing away. We're just going to do 1 loop on either side. Now this time, it's going to be just a little bit smaller, maybe 1 inch smaller. So I'll make this loop, let's say 5 inches. And I'm just looking down here either at my board, or what I'll do a lot of times if I can't see the numbers, I'll line it up with my cutting board here. It just helps me. All right, so I've got this about 5 inches, so I'm going to twist it, push it down. I didn't get it twisted completely, so let's fix that now. Push it down. Come over here, do it about 5 inches on the other side. And I cannot see here, so I'm going to come over about here on my cutting board. I'm going to pinch this just lightly to start with. All right, and I'll push it down. And then I always give it a once-over glance too. Do they look like they're reasonably the same length? Because you can see the more ribbon I get in there, the more these pegs are wanting to splay out. Now I hear the newer ones don't do that as badly. In fact, I've had some people say they were too tight. But and that's where you get your varying size of ribbon or a bow loops, just with a little bit of play. So I just kind of keep an eye on it. All right, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to trim off this tail. Just a little bit shorter than the one before. Now our last ribbon, and we're going to repeat that same pattern. The same pattern that I did with the other bee ribbon. Ribbon's coming off away from me. I'm going to come back here. I'm going to make my tail just a little bit shorter this time. When I say a little bit, it can be an inch or half an inch, whatever you like. All right, good side's going away from me. I'm going to twist it all the way, push it down. And see, it's wanting to turn, it's wanting to come up this way, so I'm going to force it the other way. I want that ribbon to lay straight. I want the tail to hang right whenever I get done. All right, I'm going to bring this one in just a little bit more than the one before. So this one was 5 inches, so let's do this one about 4 inches. And again, I can either pull these bow loops out of the way, or I can look on my cutting board that I've got it lined up here. So I'm going to do 2 loops on either side, twist it all the way. Come on the other side, look for my 4 inches, which is about right here. Twist it all the way. And again, this ribbon's wanting to buckle the wrong way, so you just got to force it the way you want it. You're the boss. All right, we're going to do just compare to that previous loop. We're going to twist it. And as I push that down, another thing that'll help that, I'm putting my finger underneath of that ribbon and kind of making it want to kind of curl around my finger. All right, this is the last one, so we don't need to twist it. I'm just going to pinch it. And now I'm to the point where I'm holding down with my other finger too to try to keep that ribbon from popping up. And again, I'm turning it underneath so it lays right. There we go. And we'll come down here and we'll compare our tails, trim it off. Now we've got our bow made. I'll go ahead and pull those all out. Now we've got to get it off of the board, and this is where you'll see some of the issues that we were fighting against, and I'll explain through it. Okay, I'm gonna, now this much ribbon, I usually will go ahead and use a zip tie to secure it. It's a little bit more stable than, say, a pipe cleaner. Pipe cleaners will break if you pull on them hard enough or twist them enough. Now what I'm going to do, and this is another thing that I do a little bit differently, maybe because of the issue of having trouble not getting the middle of the ribbon or the middle of the bow, I'll take this zip tie and I'm going to put that knob, the little knob there, I'm going to put that facing downward. See this little notch there? See what I'm talking about? It's facing down toward my feet. Okay, I'm going to turn it like this, and I'm going to put it diagonally through. Some people will do it just beside. To me, then I'm already off center. My center of my bow is right here. So I put it diagonally, and I go underneath all the ribbon. I'm going to lift it up off of the board a little bit, not all the way, and I'm going to make sure that I've got all the ribbon off of the board. I've done that before. I'm trying to tell you guys things I've done wrong before so that you can avoid it. All right, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the knob side of the zip tie, I'm going to bring it back diagonally. So in theory, I should be in the center of my bow. Now I'm going to go ahead and lift this off a little bit. I'm not cinched it down all the way. I'm just going to cinch it down where I've got a little bit of security there. I'll get this out of the way. And I'm holding on to it where it's not going to move. Let's cinch it down just a little bit more so I can kind of play with the ribbon. And now is where I'm going to look to see, is my ribbon all turned the right way? Is it buckled underneath like this one? If you guys can see that right there, it's buckled. So we need to fix that. That one right there is buckled. Let's go ahead and fix it. Turn it all the way. Okay, so let's get our tails going the right direction. Get our loops spread out the way we want, and now I'm looking at it, And I think that this loop looks a little bit larger than that one. So I'm just going to come over here. I'm going to pull just a little bit and shorten that up just a hair. It wasn't very much, just enough to where I could tell a difference. And I want to make sure that my two loops here are straddling my polka dot. I'm going to do the same thing over on this side. Again, I'm inspecting it to make sure that my loops are about the same size. And don't fret though. They don't have to be perfect. Don't waste a lot of sleep over it, right? Okay, and I've got my polka dot between the two. Now we're going to come up and I'm going to bring this Swiss dot. We're going to do the same thing. Now I'm going to bring these guys and have that straddle it. And again, I see one of my loops looks a little bit longer than the other. Actually, I think maybe this one's short. So let's see where I can pull that. And I just pull it real slightly until I can see movement the way I want it. Do a little bit more. All right, now I'm happy with my bow. Got my tails all going in the right direction, more or less. I'm going to turn this over. I'm still working on getting all the ribbons twisted the right way. Now's a good time to look at that and fix it if you need to. Now, I'm going to take a pipe cleaner. This is what I'm going to use to secure my bow to the wreath. I'm going to take a pipe cleaner. I'm going to run it right underneath of that zip tie. And again, the zip tie is not tight right now. It's just enough where I can maneuver the ribbons and such. I'm going to turn it back around. If I'm still happy, I'm going to go ahead and cinch that down. Now, even, after I cinch this down, you can still play with this. You can still pull on some of the ribbons and make them more even if you need to. So don't be afraid to, like I said, we got good quality ribbon. You can manhandle it. Some ribbons you have to kind of watch though, like the ones that have the decorative scallop on the side and that kind of thing. You have to watch that you don't pull that scallop off because that does happen. Ask me how I know. Now, I'm going to need to bring something in here. I've got this pipe cleaner. I wouldn't normally do this because I'm making a, I'm putting this on a wreath and I generally will put something in the center. I'm still a little bothered by this loop right here. But I wanted to show you what I'm going to do with this. You can still see the zip tie. So I'm going to trim this tail off of the zip tie. And then I'm just going to take one of my ribbons. Doesn't matter which one, but I think I'm going to use the Swiss dot and put it over that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take one of the 1.5 inch ribbons and I'm going to cut it in half. It's right down the middle. And don't short yourself. I try to cut about 10 inches or so. That way it's going to be easier to tie. So we just cut that off. Now I'm going to take it, you've got this rough edge here, or this raw edge. It's going to fray if we don't do something with it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fold that under and make sure that it's not exposed on the other side. You want the nice smooth sides on both edges. Now I'm just going to take that right over that zip tie. Make sure you've got all the tails on the right side. Turn it over. We'll just tie this in a knot. This is where I say, and make sure you don't short yourself because otherwise it's hard to tie these. Especially if you've got little sausage fingers like I do. Okay, and so there we've got our bow. And as I said, I will finish these tails with dovetailing them after I get it on the wreath. And then I can look at it and I can decide what, you know, what length I want them and that kind of thing. So I hope that was helpful. All right, I'm going to get on here and look at it, see what questions I missed. Oh, thank you for the stars, Christina. I appreciate that so much. Oh, Christina, you're welcome. You're welcome. I hope that answered your questions. Hi, Eve. Thank you. I love those polka dots too. I think that it's fun. It just makes them, yeah. And plus, this bee is, he's kind of, I don't know, kind of whimsical in that. So I think it's going to be really a cute wreath. I really do. I can't wait to get started on it. All right, I'm going to look through here and see if I can see any more questions. Oh, welcome, Judy. New viewer. Where are you from, Judy? Oh, thank you, Sue. Thank you so much for being here. All right, let me see. I'm going to pull you guys up on TikTok and see if I see any questions. Oh, Jay Nice, 1432. Thank you for following me. And Walk with David, thank you. Hi, Kathy. Oh, we get a lot of followers. Thank you guys so much. And Tammy's from Walhalla, South Carolina. I love South Carolina. I was just in North Carolina, a few weeks ago when we had a nor'easter the whole time I was there, but I know it's not normally like that. Okay, so you guys on TikTok have any questions? Because I can see them now. All right, let me check on YouTube and see how we're doing question-wise over there. Hi, Linda. In North Georgia. Yes, I love it. I love it. Love Georgia, too. Hey, Angela. And there's Melissa. Thank you. Oh, I hope so, Melissa. I hope so. And the thing on bow making, I have so many people that get frustrated with it, and we all do. Do I make perfect bows every single time? Absolutely not. You can ask my group members. I mean, there's times I completely redo my bows. And, or, you know, maybe I've picked out the wrong ribbon. I don't have it laying right. I made the wrong size. So, you know, we all have frustrations like that, but just be persistent with it and practice. And it really is fun. And I tell you, you know, Etsy is really pushing, if you're a seller, Etsy is really pushing for multiples, and a bow is a perfect way to do that. You can just make them over and over and over, and that'll draw customers into your shop, and it'll give you more exposure on Etsy. And people really do buy bows. I never would have believed it, but in my, I had a craft booth here in a local mall, and my bows were my biggest seller. Marquita's wanting to know, is the Pro Bow the hand and the Pro Bow 4 the same thing? Gosh, I don't know. Let me look here. I have Pro Bow the hand. Let me look it up here. I can just look at it and tell you. It looks different. I'll have to look at that one. I'm not familiar with that one. And Regina, if you're here, Regina's the Pro Bow maker. She pops in and visits us every now and then. If you're here, let us know. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Kath. Thank you so much. New glasses? No. I have glasses everywhere. And I just grab whatever's closest usually. But no, these are not new. These are just old cheapos. I need prescription glasses, but I can't see to make some close things with my prescription glasses. So I just have all these readers everywhere. That's what I used to work with. So Marquita's wanting to know where I got the little bee. I bought that at Market. I bought several of them from Market last time I was there. So I ordered them like a year ago. Probably not a year. Probably, I don't know. I can't even think what this is. Well, you know what? It was June, it was June of last year when I ordered those, and I just got them probably a couple months ago. All right, anybody else have any other questions? Now, I did list some ribbons, some new ribbons on Etsy at boxmybow.com if anybody's interested. But I did list some of this. I don't have a complete set for this yet. But if you can see that, this is a really popular fall ribbon. But these are listed. I have a few of the bumblebees ribbons listed. And then I also listed another black and white polka dot that's designer ribbon that's really fine. It's a little expensive, but you don't use a whole bunch of that ribbon at a time. But oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Marquita. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. All right, any other questions? Thank you guys for being here on TikTok. I really appreciate it. Let me go see if I can see any more questions. Oh, Liz, that's okay. You can always watch the replay if you need to. Hey, Cindy, thank you. Christina's wanting to know how to join my wreath making group. If you go to letsmakewreaths.com, there's sign up right there. It's letsmakewreaths.com. It's in my bio too. Or if you just go to my website, adorabledecodecor.com, there's a link there also, but it's letsmakewreaths.com. We'd love to have you. We have a fabulous group. A bunch of the members are here watching today, and we are just really a close-knit group. Everybody's kind. We don't put up with any riffraff, but yeah, we'd love to have you. Thank you, Vince. Thank you. Okay, Liz. All right, and group members do know that we still have our wreath critiques at 3 o'clock this afternoon. That's Eastern time. And if you want to list any of your wreaths, be sure you get on that link and sign that up. All right, any other questions? Last call. Okay, I don't see anything. So thank you so much, like I said, for being here. I really appreciate you guys' support and showing up for me every time I go live. And if there's anything I can help you with, just shoot me an email. It's terrysmith@adorabledecodecor.com. I'll be happy to help if I can. So, and I'll be live again, at least on Facebook, 10 o'clock Friday morning. And if anybody wants to get up with the, or sign up with the text service, it's 812-289-6187. That's 812-289-6187. Thank you guys so much, and I will catch you next time. Bye-bye.